Hey guys, welcome back to Tave Gaming. My name's Shred.
And I'm Terezio.
Real quick, before we start with this very interesting topic, I want to remind you guys to like and subscribe to our video.
And I want to suggest commenting down below.
We love to hear back from you. We love to know if you liked our videos. We're doing this in the beginning so you don't forget.
It's not our normal style, but hey, hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Just like we're trying out Destiny 2.
What do you think? Was Destiny 2 too much to handle?
I think that it was too much to handle at the time, yes.
So we just got through with the Destiny open beta. It ended on Sunday or Monday morning. It was one of the two, regardless.
We were too busy to really be able to keep track of it.
Due to my job, I only got to play one day, but I played about 12 hours in that one day. Now, mind you, there was minimal content, but it was pretty exciting. How much did you play?
I played for about 3 hours. I didn't get to do a whole lot in it just because I had so much going on this weekend. But
okay, yeah.
I did get to enjoy it for a couple hours. Got to play some multiplayer matches and all that. Mm-hmm.
So when we're going to talk about Destiny 2, I thought, let's take a step back and we'll talk about Destiny 1 first. So Terezio and I here, specifically me, were major Destiny fanboys when Destiny 1 was coming out. Like, I was playing the beta, I was thinking about getting a tattoo for Destiny, like, I was Destiny 1 fanboy from the start.
Well, were you a Destiny fanboy or just a Bungie fanboy at that point?
You know what, I'm going to say Destiny because as much as I played Halo growing up, it wasn't my go-to franchise. My go-to franchise growing up was more like Call of Duty. But
you basic.
I know. So Destiny 1 was just I thought it was going to be an absolutely amazing game. So what was your favorite part about Destiny
1? Well, I'd have to say the classes were pretty good. They were well diverse. The Titans are definitely different than the Hunters or the Warlocks. I mean, I really didn't get to play Destiny 1 as much as everyone else because I didn't really enjoy it as much as everyone else. But with it, the classes were pretty good.
But that had something to do with who we were playing with.
Yes, and they are not to be named.
No. I liked Destiny 1 for just about everything it was trying to be. It didn't succeed. And, I mean, no fault to Bungie. You did the best you could, but
it was good for their amount of time put into it.
Yeah, I mean, Destiny...
It wasn't great, but it was pretty good.
I think I remember reading Destiny was what they wanted the Halo games to be, where you played as a human fighting against the Covenant, the Brutes, the Flood, but it was more of an open worldish feel. And when Microsoft took over Halo, before it was even released, they forced it into a purely FPS standpoint because they thought it would sell, and it did.
Yeah, it definitely did sell.
It made the Xbox what it is today, in my opinion.
Without it, there'd be no online multiplayer.
There would definitely be no Xbox Live, no PlayStation Network. I mean, that game is what defined us as multiplayer gamers.
Yep.
But my favorite part about Destiny was just, there was a lot to do. It seemed like eventually you were doing the same thing over and over again, but in the beginning, yes, the campaign lacked a lot of plot holes, and it was not very robust, but you had your campaign missions, which you could do single player or with a squad of up to 3.
Yeah, it was 3.
3. You had your strikes, which was a squad of 3 of you going in and doing a mini raid almost. And finally, you had the raids, which were 8 people. I mean, that's 8 people playing together in a cooperative environment. And then they threw in the multiplayer, the Crucible, as a way to get the classic FPS feel out of Destiny.
Were the raids really 8 people? I thought they were 6.
You're right, there might be 6. They were double the normal fire teams of 6.
Yeah, the raids were 6, and the multiplayer could be up to, I believe...
I think it was like 4v4, or there was a 5v5.
I thought there was a 6v6 at one point.
It might have been.
But regardless, their online player for like PvP, it wasn't bad. It did its job. It was competitive. The matchmaking services wasn't always the greatest, and you know, I hate coming into a match at the very end and getting nothing for it, and it's like, I get it, I did no work, but it's a double-edged blade. It's a double-edged blade because I hate not getting rewarded for joining a match, even if it's at the end, but I also hate getting rewarded for being at the end.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword where I say that, so...
Another thing I really liked about Destiny 1 was... God, I was just thinking... Oh, the feeling you get. So I will never forget playing the beta. This was before you had an Xbox One.
But I did get to try the beta for a little bit.
Yeah, but I will never forget it was myself and TK.
Yeah.
Our buddy TK. And we were playing, and I was playing a Warlock. I am a Warlock main. It is all I play. I really like supports. I think we've talked about this in previous videos, and the Warlock was as supportive as you could get in Destiny.
Yeah.
Regardless, I'll never forget the first time I got to use my Supernova in the beta. I was like, I just leveled up to unlock it. We're in the middle of a mission, and it was that stupid Earth mission where you go through the Cosmodrome, you fight the fallen captain, and then you go out and fight some Hive. You remember that one? It's like the third Earth mission where you can find the second golden chest on Earth. We get to the room with a whole bunch of Fallen after fighting through the dark tunnel of Hive.
Yeah.
And I'm fully charged, and then we get through the first room, we go into the second room where there's the captain, and I missed, first of all, so I jump up into the air, I press my ultimate button, and I just do that slam dunk move that the Warlock animation is for the Supernova, and I just felt like a god. I felt like this is the coolest thing ever because it zooms you out to third person so you can watch your character model, do the motion, and it was one of the coolest feelings ever. I still have that clip on my Xbox. I will never get rid of it.
No, I understand. I won't get rid of my golden guns or my arc blade dancers.
You were talking about diversity. I mean, that's something. I mean, you have 3 classes, and at first you only had 2 subclasses, and then they brought in a third with the Taken King.
Yeah.
Taken King, yeah. And, I mean, for having 6 classes, so to speak, to choose from, I don't think there was any really duplicate. So you had different options to pick from, which I really liked.
So, now that we've talked about what we like, what we don't like about Destiny 1, let's get into the beta. Let's dive into this. I can tell you right now, I only got to play the Hunter because, again, I only played for about 3 hours. I really liked their new Arc class.
What was their new Arc class?
I cannot remember off the top of my head. I only played for 3 hours.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure I'll put it down below after I get it to the computer. But it basically, you summon this void, or not this void, but this electric staff that acts much like Blade Dancer, but it's not as difficult to maintain. It's more swiping and smashes than it is direct attacks. So it allows you to be a little bit more mobile, but also a little bit more versatile in the way you use it. Mm-hmm. You can just hit one person, yes, but you can also hit multiple.
Yeah, see, that's something that goes along with what I'm going to say about what I liked is that they revamped the subclasses. So your solar-based Warlock in Destiny 1 was purely support, self-res or buffs or cooldown timers, right?
Yeah.
The solar-based Warlock in Destiny 2 beta was called the Dawnbreaker.
Okay.
And he got a flaming sword, and he could swipe up and down to send out a vertical beam, so to speak, like a vertical blade, or he could swipe left to right, horizontal, and send out a horizontal one. So you could clear a room of enemies with it, and it reset all your cooldowns at the same time. So your grenade, your melee, and which is another thing I really liked about the beta was this new class ability thing. So do you want to talk, what was the Hunters?
The Hunters was if you dodged, you could either go invisible for a short period of time and reset your cooldowns, or you could reset your grenade cooldown, or you could reset your melee cooldown.
Okay.
By dodging.
Oh, cool.
So
it was whichever one's closer?
Whichever one you selected.
Oh, you had to attune it.
You could attune to the one that you wanted.
The Warlocks I really liked was called Eternal Well. Basically, you summon just a circle on the ground that could either heal allies or provide a weapon buff, damage buff. So, I mean, you just throw that down and your buddy's standing it, and if you're taking constant damage, whether it's a ground effect from a boss or you're in the middle of a room and they're just shooting at you from all directions, you can heal through it. In the Strike that was available, the boss on the second phase turns the ground into lava, and we found out that with my Well of Life, I healed through it. As in, we took 0 damage. We still took the knockback that happens, because the mechanic was, you take a lot of damage, and then if you're still on the ground at the end, it pops you way up in the air, and you got to time your jump to not die from the fall damage.
Okay.
Which is another thing I like, actual fall damage.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a little bit in Destiny 1, but you feel it much more now.
Revamped. It's redone.
Yeah, if you're goofing off with your Warlock and you blinking all over the place and you blink up way high and you fall down, you could die. Whereas back in the day, I mean, you just lost your shield.
Yeah.
And then the other one was weapon damage, and then the Titan one was really cool because all of these can synergize really well together, except for maybe the Hunters because they're known as the Lone Wolves. No offense. No offense.
I'm not taking it.
The Titans can summon... So Titans are your tanks. And they can summon either a big square wall that literally is taller than your Guardian, so therefore you can't shoot over it, you have to step out from behind it. Or a knee-high wall, think like a cover wall in Gears of War or something, where you can crouch behind it. And if you're crouching behind it, you get a buff called Rally Barricade. And when you scope in, so left trigger, or whatever it is on the PC... I don't know. PC hasn't had a beta yet, so I'm not worried about it. Left trigger, your guy automatically pops up over the cover. Like the same way if you're playing Siege or Gears, if you're scoping in, you pop up over the cover and you can shoot. And as soon as your clip is empty, your character automatically ducks back down, insta-reload, and is back up. You don't even have to let go of the trigger. And so you can use that as mobile cover. You set that down, and what we did was we'd set that down with my damage buff behind it. And you just put out massive damage because you got instant reload and you're not taking as much damage because you're behind a wall.
So something else I liked was I played more of the multiplayer than anything else. Okay. I really liked the new map that they showcased.
Countdown? The new game mode or the new map?
The new map.
Okay.
The new map, I really liked it. It was small. Mm-hmm. It was super small.
The marketplace one?
No, the
So in regular Crucible, not in the new mode?
not in the new mode. Okay. The regular Crucible mode, it's a small, tiny little map, and it's so tight. It feels like a domination map in Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm. I did like... I'm not a big Crucible player. I'm not a big PvP player. Ask anybody.
No, he's really not.
Hate it. But I did like Countdown, because it's... What is that game mode where you take the bomb and try and blow up an enemy's base?
Oh.
You're either attacking or defending.
Okay, yeah.
It's in Call of Duty. It's in Battlefield. Demolition?
That's a version of it, but I think that's a small-scale version in Battlefield.
So basically, you're either attacking or defending.
Yeah, no, it is Domination.
Demolition. Yeah. So you're either attacking or defending. If you're attacking, any one of your teammates can set the bomb. All of you have it. It's not like there's a big icon above you where everyone's targeting you, like it is in Counter-Strike or Overwatch,
CSGO.
where you get the bomb icon above your head and everyone's shooting at you. So, and it's 4v4. No, it was 5v5. And there are 2 objective points, A or B, and you have to go arm one of the 2, just one. Once you arm the one, the other one disappears.
Okay.
And then. Or you kill the entire enemy team, as any multiplayer goes. So if you kill all 5 enemy players, you win the round.
So it's a single respawn?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't even get to respawn type of deal?
Nope, not unless they bring you up.
Okay.
You have 3 respawns per team per round. So if 4 of you go down, only 3 of you can come back up if somebody walks over to your orb and reses you.
Oh, so you get 3 reses.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not actual respawns. And then...
Kind of sad I didn't get to play this mode.
That one was really fun. Once you activate it, we played 5 rounds. Once you activate the bomb, the enemy team can either wipe you and then defuse. They have to wipe and then defuse, or just defuse if you're not paying attention. So it was really cool because they're 2 points. They're decently close to each other. So if you're defending, as soon as one goes off, your entire team zergs. It is stupid, and it was a lot of fun. It was really close quarters. I mean, I'm not using the scout rifle. I'm not using the sniper rifle. There's no long range.
So, just humor me with this. The new weapon systems.
Oh, the new weapon system.
Like the submachine gun.
You didn't get the exotic one because you were playing a hunter.
Nope. I got a pistol.
I got a hand cannon?
Yeah.
Or a sidearm?
It reloaded like a hand cannon.
Okay.
But it played as a sidearm. It was a solar burn.
Was it classified as a sidearm or classified as a hand cannon?
It was classified as a sidearm.
Okay.
But it had it dropped out and it was like a ball clip.
Oh, cool.
So
I didn't get to see it at all because, again, only Warlock. So what they did in the beta was during the mission, they make you play right away to get the hang of the controls and whatnot. You get 1 exotic. And it was the same exotic for every single member of the class. So Titans got an assault rifle that was like a minigun.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I really wanted it.
TK was having fun with that.
I bet so.
Warlock's got a arc-powered submachine gun, and you got the solar-powered sidearm.
Yes.
And so I really like this new system. So
here's something that I know you're not going to want to admit stuff to, but the dislikes of the Destiny 2 beta.
I've got a couple.
I'm going to open up with this one. And it's so minor, a lot of you may not have realized it, and if you did, let me know down below. The disconnect between the voices and the animations for talking. It's so minute, it's probably less than a second in difference. Like, it's probably like a quarter of a second, if that. But it's just enough that for me, I instantly recognize it, and it just makes me upset because it's like, you couldn't get that right. You got it perfect in the first game. Right. Nothing was disconnected.
Fanboy leaping to the defense of a game here.
It's
pre-release software.
Well, let's just be real. It's not that much further until the game comes out, so it's not that much in pre-release.
2 months? They got, what, 2 months?
2 months, and they've still got to do certification and disc creation.
Was it September or November?
It's September.
Yeah, so they got 2 months.
So, that just is the biggest issue for me. I can't stand a game that can't get the voice connects right. It looks like I'm watching a Japanese B-rate movie.
Oh.
I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Tsunami.
So, that's one of my biggest flaws. What do you have?
Okay. Again, I get it's pre-release software, guys. No hate. But I did not like that we were stuck at level 20. There was no upgrading we could have done. I mean, obviously, I only played for a day. I don't know if there was a way to get upgrade points to try out some of the other perks within the class line. I mean, you can read everything in your class line. You just couldn't equip any of the others. Because I know there were, on the Dawnbreaker tree, there's the second subset of like melee, grenade, well, and ultimate modifiers. Because like my modifier on my Dawnbreaker was getting a kill in the air. I could press B twice in the air to dodge scoot while in the air.
Yeah.
So I could dodge. One of the options I could do if I had an upgrade point, which is a new currency, so to speak, in Destiny 2, is I could dive bomb by double pressing B. So if I'm gliding, I could dive bomb, and if I dive bomb and kill something, resets my cooldowns.
Okay.
Again, the Dawnbreaker is a lot about resetting cooldowns and getting stuff up as quick as you can. So I really dislike that we didn't get to experiment with that a lot. If you guys played more and there was a way to get those upgrade points, let me know. The other thing I didn't like about the beta, and again, I get pre-release software, was there was a lack of weapons. Right? We did Crucible for about 3 hours. We did the strikes for the other 8 hours we were playing. Yeah. And we got the same 4 weapons and armor every single time.
You got armor? I just got weapons.
I got a Warlock Bond and a helmet and a jacket, and they did nothing. And I get that they wanted you to experience the full extent of your class, so they automatically bring you in at level 20. You've automatically got some legendary gear. They give you an exotic weapon. So I get that, but it just felt like I was pigeonholed in my beta experience to just trying out that. I know I could have done more.
Well, I'll jump to the defense this time. It is a beta. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get the full experience of your class. You're gonna get a little taste of it, enough that you're going to come back for more.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. But in the Destiny 1 beta, although I wasn't able to touch Sunsinger, which you know was
you did get to level up. Though,
I got to level up my Voidwalker to level 10. And get to see where the progression was going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they let you see everything that they have in the trees right now. The other thing I disliked was a lack of content. They gave us 1 strike, 2 Crucible maps, and no way to replay the campaign mission that I found.
Yeah, you'd have to make reset.
A new character. Which, I mean, is fine, because it's not like I'm leveling a character and then having to redo it again in terms of a beta. I felt like there was a lack of things we could try. There should have been maybe a patrol, if they're still doing patrols. That would have been fun.
A little bit of the open worldness would have been fun. But I think they're going to add some stuff that we weren't expecting. And
we also missed out on the 1 hour window to visit the social hub, the new social hub, the new tower.
Oh, did we? I didn't know that they had that.
Saturday from 10 a.m. Pacific to 11 a.m. Pacific.
Okay, I didn't even know that they were doing that. I haven't kept up on their Facebook or Twitter or anything.
It was, but I would have liked to have experienced it, but unfortunately, I have to work. But yeah, so I mean, so we got an hour in the social hub. That's it. I can't even imagine what the load times are like because everyone wanted to go to the social hub.
Yeah.
One strike, which everyone pretty much did once or twice, and then they just went to Crucible. So wait times are a little bit long. And then the 2 Crucible match, one of which was regular Crucible that showcased your favorite map, and the other of which was the new game mode, which was fun, but very repetitive. What do you want Destiny 2 to be?
I hope that they fix that audio thing.
All right.
But all kidding aside, I feel like it's going to be geared towards what they promised Destiny 1 to be. It's going to it feels like it's going to be more towards the MMO style. Just with like I can't explain why it feels like that. Maybe it's just me fanboying and saying, Bungie, please do us good. But, I mean, I have this innate gut-wrenching feeling that it's going to be more towards what they promised originally.
I hope so, too. That's a big hope, is that we get more of that MMO feel, even the gear grinding. Yes, there's gear grinding in Destiny 1, but it just... Okay, if you wanted to get the top tier gear, you had to do the raid, which means you had to have 6 friends who you could do the raid with every week on Weekly Reset. That is very MMO-like, but it felt harder to do because there are people cheesing the raid, which I get as a part of a game, but it still made me mad. I'm not talking about 50s. I'm not talking about it.
I didn't ask you to.
But I'm hoping we get more of that MMO feel, and I want more of an open world.
That's what I'm hoping for with the MMO feel, because it's not open enough for me in Destiny 1, and that's one of my biggest complaints, and you guys have heard me say it before, that you don't call yourself an MMORPG when the max you can have in an area is at the tower with 50 people or so, and then in the world with like maybe 30 to 60 people in that world. It's not MMO then. It's large. It's larger than your average game, but when you look at like something like the new Call of Duty World War II, they're talking about having a social area, just like Destiny has their tower. They're talking about having a social area that's large enough for like a couple hundred people to be walking around, and when you do your prestige classes in that, you're going to be doing it in front of other people. It's like an actual test to rank up. So that's what I'm hoping, that they've got a bigger social area. I'm sure those that got to play in the social area can inform us what it was like. Please let us know. Because I would love to know, because I didn't get to try it. I'm hoping that social area is larger. The maps, when you go into like the patrols, if they still have them, you get to do that with a bit more people. And that they open up the fire teams from 3 to maybe 4 or 5. Because I've got 3 other friends that I like to play with. I've got you, I've got TK, and I've got Maverick. Mm-hmm. And right now, I have to pick between the 3 of you if I wanted to play in a fire team with you guys.
I guess I hear you there that a 4-person fire team would be good, because that's where a lot of games go. Yeah. If you're doing a small group, ESO, group size of 4. I mean, you can do large groups, but your major group size is going to be 4. Your dungeons are 4. World of Warcraft, your average group size is 4 to 5.
Yep.
And in dungeons, it's 4 again. But I like the 3-person fire team. And I like the 3-person fire team if it's diverse. I don't want 2 Titans and a Warlock. I want one of each class to see each class do their thing.
Yeah.
One more thing I hope for Destiny 2 is that we get more story. I mean, the original one campaign was just so...
Boring,
lackluster. I mean, I did the campaign in 6 hours, I think, the first time.
Yeah, and then eventually we got it down to like 3 hours to do the entire campaign.
Yeah, I could get from 1 to 20 in 3 hours.
Yeah, it was very lackluster in the beginning of Destiny, and
I feel like by the time I finished the campaign,
I think they cut a lot of content originally, because I know that I've seen the scenes where, like, I guess they were in like a Chicago or some form of like major city that wasn't in the game. Mm-hmm. And I wish they had added that on there. I know that a lot of people that dive into the files have seen this cut content, and I'm hoping that they don't do that. Like, I get that there's going to be some cut content on the disc or in the DLCs or in the main download. I get that. It's just a thing that happens with developers. But don't cut out major parts of your plot to sell them as DLC, even though that's the new way everyone goes about everything. It feels like you're cheating us out of money, and that I don't want to play a game where I'm running a 3-hour campaign.
Right. And I felt like after the original core campaign for vanilla,
Yeah.
it was very disjointed. There wasn't a lot of continuity. It wasn't until Taken King and Rise of Iron that there was continuity. Because in Rise of Iron, they mention Oryx a couple times. You're still fighting the Taken during the Rise of Iron. And during Taken King, they mention vanilla slightly. But House of Wolves and the Dark Below,
There's really
you don't get a lot.
nothing.
From Dark Below to Taken King, great continuity.
Yeah.
Because Dark Below is where you fight Crota.
Yeah,
And then you fight Crota's father, Oryx, twice. So I thought that was good continuity, but the rest of the story just felt disjointed. Whatever happened to the stranger who gave us the pulse rifle?
That is one of the
Axel
biggest
stranger,
questions.
right? What the hell was that about? Who does she represent? Where do we go? It's just there was a lot of unanswered questions, I felt. So Destiny 2, I want open world.
Yep.
I want more players available in patrols, or even not even a patrol map. Do it like ESO, where you have to zone into.
Yeah.
So your main hub is your Grotwood, your Elden Root, right? That is your social area. And then when you walk out of that, you zone into whatever you're going to do. You set it up in a queue, something. I don't know how you're going to do it, Bungie, but this is my suggestion. I'm not a developer. That and more continuity with the story. I want it to make sense. Yeah, listen to me.
Even Navi has to agree.
Yeah,
Just,
even
hey,
Navi
listen.
has to agree.
I would agree completely. The open world, whether it be zoning or just allowing us to run around as much as we want, even if you keep it as patrols, just more people, more abilities. The MMO feel, more people, and then the storyline.
Yeah, I'd also like gear to be a little bit more influential. All right, so when we were doing Vault of Glass, Destiny 1, I had the Heart of Praxic Fire, and I had all legendary gear. Heart of Praxic Fire is a Warlock chest. When I was trying to do the raid for Rise of Iron, I had the Heart of Praxic Fire and all legendary gear. So it felt like I'd be wearing the same gear for 90% of my playtime, which I don't think an MMO should do. I don't think an RPG should do. I get that they're trying to take 3 different genres and bring them all together. There are RPG FPSs, Borderlands. There are MMORPGs, World of Warcraft, and they're trying to take those 2 completely different worlds, smush them together and make Destiny 2, or even Destiny 1. And I just wish the gear aspect of World of Warcraft comes into play. When new raids are released in World of Warcraft, I have to go get new gear to get me different set bonuses. Same with Elder Scrolls, So I want that to happen. I want set bonuses to be a thing. I want to have to go hunting for a specific helmet with a specific drop table that makes it so that I am one step above the other Warlock who's been playing just the amount of time and has all legendary just like me. But now I've got the set bonus that makes me do just a little bit more.
Yeah. And again, I'd have to agree. I'm not a big grinding fan though, but I will do it if the game is something that is rewarding me. So that's what we look upon when we look at Destiny 2 and Destiny 1.
So I guess, is this Destiny too much to handle, guys?
Let us know.